I'm not defensive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another live stream. Welcome to emergency meeting, because things are not going well, chat. Things are not going well at all. It was another defeat last night at Craven Cottage. It is 1 win in 9. It is 8 wins out of 21 this season. It is 7 red cards. It is 8th place in the table. It's 2 points off 5th place. We're 3 points above. We're 3 points above 14th or something like that. We're in big trouble, chat. Chelsea are in serious trouble. Serious trouble. We are in big trouble, chat. There's no escaping this. Absolutely no escaping the fact that this football club is in major trouble. The match-going fans turned on the ownership last night. Pretty much the whole second half, there were chants against Clearlake, against the ownership. Egbali was in attendance. He would have heard it loud and clear. There were chants against him as well. And we've now got to throw Liam Rosenior into the mix to try and pick the pieces up. It's not looking good, people. It is not looking good. You know, I don't like doing these shows when things aren't going well. But right now, it's very hard to see any light at the end of the tunnel. It's very, very difficult to see what light is at the end of the tunnel, chat. You know, it's very hard to know. This is a team that is so short of confidence, a team that's not playing good football, a team that's not playing well, a team that's, you know, not getting results, a team that's looking out of ideas. Neto, awful at the moment. Palmer really struggling. Defensively making mistakes. Not good in the midfield. And then you chuck into the mix Liam Rosenior, an inexperienced manager who's just chucked into the fire. Into the fire. And you know, we've somehow got to hope that he can sort this mess out. And Callum McFarlane is now Liam Rosenior's assistant. He's been promoted. He's not going back to the 21s. Rosenior was apparently impressed with him and is offered him a job in the backroom staff. McFarlane is now his new assistant. And look, I like Callum McFarlane, by the way. There's a great opportunity for him. I don't think there's a single person in the world who's had a better start to the year than Callum McFarlane. No one knew who he was. No one knew who he was 8 days ago or whatever it is now. 8 days ago, no one had heard of him. Now, he's led Chelsea for 2 games and he's suddenly not a 21s coach anymore. He's assistant manager to Rosenior in the first team. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. But big up to every single one of you who is locked in. Make sure you're smashing the likes. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. That would be greatly appreciated, guys. Every new subscriber helps. We're getting ever closer to 20,000 subscribers right now. So make sure you are doing that. But last night was crap. Let's just straight up say it how it is. It was awful. Even before the brain-dead red card from Cucurella, which obviously changes the game. Of course it changes the game. But even before that brain-dead red card, it's not like we were dominating. It's not like we were on top. We were playing some okay stuff. By our standards, we were fine. You know, we were fine. There wasn't anything major. We hadn't had a shot or anything, but we were doing fine. And then to be in that position again. How many times are we going to make the same mistakes? And it's not about a lack of experience, because it doesn't matter if it's young players doing it. It doesn't matter if it's your most senior players doing it. We can't stop doing it. There is a complete lack of discipline in this team. Lack of discipline. And lack of game management, lack of awareness, lack of reading situations. I'm not saying we would have won 11v11, but you're leaving yourself with a massive uphill battle, to sort this out. You know, you get sent off before the half-hour mark. You leave us over an hour with 10 men. I don't care who you're playing in the Premier League. Playing over an hour with 10 men against anyone is going to be very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. But this, do you know what the positives were from yesterday? And big up to the chat. I will get to these comments. I will get to your comments, chat. The positive from yesterday, right? And I know it's a bit of a mad positive to take, but the fans were outstanding. The fans were absolutely outstanding. The message is loud and clear to this ownership, to the hierarchy. We do not like you. We do not like what you're doing. You need to fix up and you need to make some adjustments. Otherwise, it's going to get dark. It's going to get even more toxic than it is. And as Chelsea 126 has said, away fans man of the match. Absolutely. And there were a couple of positives from a performance standpoint. I felt Liam Delap played reasonably well. I thought Jarell Hatto's appearance on the bench was promising. But other than that, there was nothing to write home about. Absolutely nothing to write home about. And when you think about it, right, this was Egg Barley watching on, the sporting directors watching on. The excuses are over. It's 2026. It is not January 2023 where we are still, where this ownership are trying to find their feet. They've had more than enough time to stamp their authority on this. Ticket prices go up season after season. The ridiculous price for the Carabao Cup semi-final. The expectation naturally rises. They've caused this expectation to rise. And yet they're doing nothing at all to try and match the rising expectations. We're nearly 4 years in. We're nearly 4 years in. Do you know what really is the biggest, what should concern the Chelsea hierarchy right now, is how much they're hated by the fan base, the strength and the depth of the feeling of the supporters against Egg Barley, against Blue Coat, against Clear Lake. It's not just a few people online saying some things. It was the match-going fans away from home, the so-called hardcore. It was a sizable chunk. Old people, young people, you know, fans for 20 plus years, fans for however many years. And it will be the same again at the Valley against Charlton on Saturday, and it will be the same again in the Carabao Cup game at Stamford Bridge, and the same again against Brentford next weekend, because the message is loud and clear. The message is loud and clear. There's no Pochettino, there's no Maresca, McFarlane's gone. There's no manager to hide behind. There is no hiding place for this ownership. There is no hiding place for these players anymore. No hiding place whatsoever. No hiding place whatsoever. And we're in a situation, guys, where things aren't going well on the pitch. The relationship between the fans and the ownership is at an all-time low. Performances on the pitch are poor. And the solution to try and sort things out is to throw a rookie manager into the mix who's never managed a Premier League game, who's never managed a top-flight game in England, who's never won anything, who's got nothing on the CV. We're 8th place in the league right now. Sorry. Imagine sitting there last night, right, as Egbali, as Joe Shields, as Win Stanley, Lawrence Stewart, all these guys, and your legacy so far in what will be your first 4 years in charge will more than likely be 1 Champions League qualification in 4 seasons. It was in plain sight for Egbali and Win Stanley to see. This is your multi-billion-pound investment that you have put together, that you think is good enough to do whatever. Instead, it is a mediocre football team for the 3rd year running. And you were sat there and it was in front of your very eyes. 3 points in the last 5 games. 1 win in 9. One of the worst run clubs about at the moment. It feels like we've gone back to 2023 with Graham Potter. That's what it feels like. And as I said, it was a double whammy. It was like getting kicked whilst you're down because Arsenal are running away of the league. Man City dropped points last night. So not only are we horrendous, Arsenal also dropped points. Man City dropped points last night. It's never ending, chat. It's never ending. It does, bro, I agree. It does kind of feel worse. It does kind of feel worse, you know, because we've spent so much more money. Because, you know, every time that we go to a conversation, it's like, oh, you know, we're still 3 or 4 players short. We can't continue to be 3 or 4 players short every single window. All the pressure now is on Egbali, is on Clearlake. And I don't want to be feeling this way, but the only feeling I've got at the moment is this is the beginning of an inevitable downfall. This is the beginning of us falling off. This is the beginning of us not being competitive. I'll say it now. I tweeted it last night during the game. It's going to take a miracle for this team to qualify for the Champions League. It's going to take a miracle. The squad is nowhere near good enough to compete on multiple fronts. This squad can pull off the odd performance here and there. It can string together 5 or 6 games to win a cup competition. But there's no hiding place. There's no hiding place in the league. The table doesn't lie. People can say, oh, the squad's better than what it's doing right now. But it clearly isn't. You are in the league where you deserve to be. Are there some circumstances? Yes, you've not had Levi Colwill all season. Yes, you've had Cole Palmer injured for the majority of the first half of the season. I get that. But that's not running anymore. That's not running anymore. We should be doing much better than we currently are. And that simply isn't happening, chat. That simply isn't happening. By the way, people, keep smashing that like button. Let's get this up to 100 likes. We're 165 in the building. We're 35 likes short. Keep smashing the like button. Keep subscribing if you're new around here. There will always be a briefing. We're a year away from being a year away. Bro, this is what they're the masters at, right? The sporting directors are the absolute masters of briefing that we're a year away from being a year away. They've got an uncanny knack of saying, guys, we're a year away from being a year away. It's mental. It's honestly mental, people. So at the start of the season, 8th is the best we can achieve due to the amount of games and injury-prone players. I'd like to finish with I'd like to think we do better than 8th, but who knows right now? The fact that Brentford, by the way, who lost Thomas Frank, who appointed their set-piece coach as manager, who lost Ivan Toney, whenever it was the season before last, who lost Visser, who lost Mbeumo, who lost Norgard, their captain, and they're 5th in the league, and they're above us. And the most damning indictment right now is that we're not looking at Arsenal's, at Liverpool's, at Man City's. We are looking at Brentford's, Newcastle's, Man United's. These are the teams we're competing with. We're not even competing with Aston Villa. We're not even competing with Aston Villa, chat. And that's the mental thing. I honestly feel like this is where This is where we are. And I feel like the audacity of Eghbali, the audacity of him coming in, taking over the club and saying, quote unquote, it wasn't terribly well run. And then you proceed to qualify for the Champions League once in 3 years, more than likely going to be once in 4 years, after spending nearly £2 billion in the transfer market. Bro, we know they're not going to sell. The point is to try and implement change. The point is to try and implement change. These guys have not done a good job. They've signed a few good players, but when you sign so many players, inevitably one or two will work out. This lot aren't interested in winning. They can say they want to win, but their actions say otherwise. How can we still be almost 4 years into the project, right? And we don't have a complete squad. There's still gaping holes. The squad's not good enough to compete in the Premier League. The squad's not good enough to compete on multiple fronts. How are we still here? And I agree with your sentiment. It's always like the grass is not always greener. I agree that the grass is not always greener. And they're not going to sell up. But their method of what they think is going to make Chelsea successful is pure delusion. Absolute delusion. But you know what the most annoying thing is, right? Is we're not even a million miles off. It just needs a few tweaks. But they're not prepared to make those tweaks. It genuinely just needs a few tweaks. But they're not prepared to do it. Go and sign some proven players. Go and sign some proven quality instead of every signing being based on having resale value in 3 years' time or whatever. Go and get some proven quality, some proven experience. But this lot aren't doing that. This lot don't seem to be interested in doing that. Do I think it will change after last night's backlash? No, I don't. No, I don't think that at all. They're so wedded to what they're doing that nothing seemingly is going to alter their path. Nothing's going to alter their path. Nothing at all. They've said they're not going to change. And so we have to keep going loud and proud every single game. If you are able to make the protest next weekend, make sure you do. Make sure you do. Because enough is enough right now. Enough is enough. No, I don't want him to fail. But do you really think this is a conducive environment for him to succeed in? For him to walk into with his lack of experience? With the relationship at an all-time low between ownership and fans? Confidence on the floor with the squad lacking quality, the squad needing so many players that needs developing all at the same time. He's walking into a dumpster fire, Rosenior. As I said before, I want him to do well. We all need him to do well. We need Chelsea to be successful. I'm fed up of going through everything. I'm fed up of going through these multiple managerial changes all the time, every 12, 18 months. We need him to do well. Chelsea are not setting him up to have the best chance of success. They're really not. Yeah, we are. We're talking 3 or 4 proven players. 3 or 4 proven players. I know Sanchez has been good, but a top-class goalkeeper, a top-class centre-half, a top-class striker, a better left winger, and maybe another midfield player. We're 4 or 5 players away. Bro, it's an opinion. It's an opinion. He was there. He arrived on the team bus. He was in the dressing room. He spoke to Sky beforehand. An elite manager is not ducking the first chance to manage the team. Tuchel came in, one training session in the evening. Next game, he managed the side. Yes, it was a 0-0 against Wolves, but he was there and he was straight in. What? You know, I could understand if Rosenior wasn't in the country or he wasn't there, but he did everything but take the game. He did everything but take the game. And this might seem like a small thing, but you should know, you know this. People know Chelsea. People know the players. People know the quality that's there. It's not like you're walking in to manage a side that you don't know who the players are. You don't know what to expect from them. Everybody knows what to expect from these guys. This is the point that I'm making, chat. This is the point that I'm making. Everybody knows what to expect from these guys. So I'm just a little bit confused right now as to why he didn't take that game. Maybe they were protecting him because Fulham away is a difficult start and they would rather him go in against Charlton in a perceived easier game to get a win on the board and move forward as a side. You know, it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. If you disagree with it, that's fine. I felt he should have been in charge for the game last night, and a lot of people feel the same way. If you don't feel the same way, that's absolutely fine. It's no problem. Big up to you, brother. Yeah, they're not interested. The thing is, though, like their actions don't. No, people will support the new manager. The people that are saying they aren't is a very small minority. A very small minority. People are getting behind the manager. I just feel that Rosenior should have been in charge for that game. I'm not using it against him or anything like that. I just feel if he was there, he was speaking to Sky, he was speaking to the media. He'd been at the training ground yesterday or the day before, Tuesday or whatever. But instead of taking the team, he chose to go back to Strasbourg, do some PR exercise, try and smooth relations over with him departing. You know? So do you know what I'm saying, chat? No, Rosenior is qualified. He's got his coaching badges. He's got his coaching qualifications. You know, let's not do he's not qualified. Is he fortunate to be in a position of having this job? Absolutely he is. Absolutely he is. He's absolutely fortunate to be in that position, but he's not qualified. Yeah, he could well have been. He could well have been. Right, we're getting down to the bottom. Well, it would go some way to appeasing the current situation. It would definitely go some way to appeasing the current situation, but I don't think it wouldn't win them over straight away. No, there needs to be actual evidence that we're improving and that we're changing slightly. No, liquid diction, I agree with you. You know, the Premier League this season in terms of quality is at an all-time low. I don't think that's an unpopular thing to say. I really don't. Chat, we're over 200 in the building. There's only 89 likes. Get this up to 150 likes now minimum. Keep smashing the like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. All of that good stuff, people. all of that good stuff. But run it up, run it up. Yeah, they probably would have done. Yeah, look, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. Yeah, so, bro, I doubt you've got a UEFA Pro license. Yeah, the discipline is horrendous, absolutely horrendous right now. The level of discipline, chat, it's awful. It's absolutely awful. And the fact that people keep playing down there's discipline issues. There is clearly discipline issues at the football club. It's not hard to see. It's not hard to work out. It's not hard to understand where these issues are. But I think this is what we need to realize, chat, is that ultimately it doesn't really matter who the manager is. It doesn't matter who the manager is or who the head coach is, because ultimately their input's irrelevant. Their input is irrelevant. This project doesn't really exist, does it? It's a mess. Let's not be biased about this. We keep spending so much money non-stop, willy-nilly, but instead of finishing the puzzle off with the pieces that we need, with experience, to get us back challenging at the top, we make stupid decisions. We make sideways decisions, backwards decisions. And this is why I'm not fussed about Rosenior either way, because the manager is irrelevant. It doesn't matter who it is. I wish them the best. I'll support them. But it's so obvious they have no control. For me, what we seem to have become now are a team that will win a cup here and there. But it's just a sad indictment that we've had so many opportunities to push to the next level, and we do stupid things instead. Last summer, was after the Club World Cup, was a perfect opportunity to make a statement. But greed, ego, bad decisions, they cost us big time, especially, chat, after we had injuries to key personnel and whatnot. And even before that, we needed to strengthen. But of course, we actually regressed over the summer. Well, of course it does, bro. Of course it does. If we win the Champions League, if we win 2 trophies with one of them being the Champions League, of course that makes a difference. Of course it makes a difference. But let's not be deluded here. We know that's not going to be the case, chat. We know that's not going to be the case. And it's just hard right now to see how this changes. Because, okay, look, we've got no Premier League match now until the 17th of January, which is Brentford at home. Maybe the 2 cup games will be a welcome reprieve, maybe a welcome distraction, an opportunity to just have a change of focus, and maybe that might help us to a certain extent. But we've got Arsenal coming up in the first leg of the Carabao, which is going to be really difficult. We've then got Brentford at home, who are currently above us and doing really well. We've then got Palace away. We've got difficult games coming up, chat. We've got difficult games coming up. Yes, big up, brother. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. So we've got difficult games coming up. And the manager has got to hit the ground running. Because when the situation is as it is right now with the fans and the ownership, with the playing staff, with the fact we're not playing well, 1 win in 9, and you chuck Rosenior into that, the last thing he can do is have a bad start. Is not winning games. That is the last thing he can do, is have a bad start, chat. Because if he has a bad start, then we really are cooked. We really are cooked if he has a bad start. He has to hit the ground running. Bro, Rosenior will be here for the rest of the season minimum. Big up, big up. No. In my opinion, the club having briefed that Champions League qualification is critical. If the manager that you employed doesn't get Champions League football, he needs to go along with the people that employed him. That's not harsh. Yes, big up to you, brother. No, look, I don't think so. Look, it's hard to have any confidence going into Chelsea games right now, but I don't think Arsenal will. I don't think we're gonna beat Arsenal. No, I know. I've never said Roma wasn't perfect. I said we must have joined after I said this, but we've been a cup team since 2017. We've not finished higher than third since the last time we won the league. I know we're a cup team. This is not a new thing that we're a cup team. Yeah, bro, he does. He does. He was lacking tactical flexibility in that second half. He should have, with Neto struggling, he should have seen it and gone for Garnacho, gone for Esteval. I agree. He needs to fix up. He needs to fix up for the next game. Yeah, bro, I see it. Barley doesn't know anything about football. He's utterly clueless. Bro, we're so bad right now. You know, there's nothing that can be backed at the moment. Absolutely nothing that can be backed right now. Nothing at all, chat. Nothing at all can be backed. Man United are above us. Brentford are above us. I don't think people are deeping how serious the situation is right now. Do you know what I'm saying, chat? Do you know what I mean? Bro, there is no consistency in this team at all. We've won 8 games out of 21. Cigar City Blues, there's no excuses. There's no excuses for what's going on right now. It's unacceptable. 3 points off 14th. We've won 8 games out of 21. And you're saying to chill because no team's consistent. We're 12 points behind Aston Villa. Forgive me if I'm not chilled. No, I don't think he does. Oh, it's so peak. Maybe not as bad, but we'd probably still be struggling, to be honest. We probably would still be struggling, chat. We would probably still be struggling. There's no escaping that. Guys, we're at 107 likes now. Let's get up to 150. This needs to get to 200 likes tonight, chat. 200 likes. Smash the like button. It's free. It takes seconds. Run it up, run it up. Bro, there's so many things coming in the chat. I'm not skipping people's questions on purpose. I don't even know what your question is. Put it in again. But there's a lot of stuff coming through. So sorry if I'm missing stuff. But I can't get to everything. I don't think we'd be in a title race if we had Colwell. I don't think that's literally the only thing that's wrong with this team. I don't think that's the only thing that's wrong with this team. There's far more wrong with this team than just missing Levi Colwell. It's not as simple as, oh, if Colwell's not here, then it's all fine. Like if Cole was here, it'd be fine because players are bang out of form. Palmer's lost all his form. Neto's been terrible. The attack in general has not been very good. It's not been firing. Do you know what I'm saying, guys? Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe we wouldn't be maybe we wouldn't be 8th, but we wouldn't suddenly be like 3rd or 4th or comfortably in the Champions League positions. That's the point that I'm making. So do I. So do I. I do genuinely feel sorry for him. I do feel sorry for him. I do genuinely feel sorry for him and what's going on right now. Because he's coming into an absolute mess. He's coming into an absolute mess. But a boycott doesn't work. I've said this so many times. People have got this deluded fantasy that they think that if people stop going to matches, that the stadium will be empty. People will buy the tickets. If I don't go, if match-going fans stop going, there'll be thousands of people that are desperate to go and watch Chelsea, that are desperate to go to Stamford Bridge. This boycott thing that you constantly mention all the time is just some sort of fantasy. It's some sort of fantasy. That's what I'm saying, chat. It's some sort of fantasy. It's just not a thing. Exactly that. And what people don't realize as well is that season ticket holders have already paid their money, right, for the ticket. So the club has already got that money. The club's already got that money. Bro, do you realise there's not that many season ticket holders at Stamford Bridge? 38,000 capacity, roughly. I don't know how many season ticket holders there are, but no, bro, all this has been picked up by the media. All this is getting mainstream media attention. All this, the protest has been written about in The Athletic. Like, this is getting mainstream backing. And people need to realize that, you know, this is generating some momentum. The ownership will be fully aware of what's happening. They would have heard that chanting last night because it was impossible not to. It was impossible not to. Bro, it's all the same thing. Yeah, probably. There was one in the away. There was one in the away end last night. So I would imagine. I would imagine so. Bro, the thing is though, you're not going to get a tangible response. You know, you have to keep the momentum up. You have to keep the pressure up. You know, you're not going to get an instant response straight away. You know, you're not going to get a response straight away. It takes time to implement change, and all you can do is keep being relentless with what's happening. You've got to keep the pressure on. You've got to keep pushing. You have to keep pushing. But the thing is, chat, we just lack quality. We just lack quality in so many departments. I don't know. I think maybe they have to be a certain size. Probably no political messages. I wouldn't have thought. I don't know the rules. I've never taken a banner into the stadium. I don't know exactly what the rules are. Maresca could go to City in the summer if Pep leaves. He could, absolutely. Bro, this has been in my head like all day. It has, but it's true, and the message needs to be sent, and the message needs to be heard loud and clear, and it won't stop being heard until they do something about it. Because right now, the only place we're going under this ownership is down. It's down. Mediocrity. Bro, I'm walking around the house fucking saying it, and I don't know why. It just seems to be well catchy. But also, you've got to give Clearlake some slander all day, every day, if possible. So if I get a few rounds of the chanting in the house, I feel like I've done my Clearlake hating for the day, and that sits well with me. No, I don't think it will. Not right now. No, not right now. Maybe in time they might, but I think they're so egotistical. They're so self-centered. They're so ingrained in this project and in this way of operating, and they seem to think that this model is gonna work out for them, and it's all gonna be great. Yeah, hasn't been done for ages. I mean, the Rafa thing was a long time ago now. Rafa was what, 2012-13 season? Because he won the Europa League in 2013. Yes, it would have been a 12-13 season. Oh, gosh, it's like 13 years ago. 13 years ago that was. That's seriously dark, isn't it? Jesus. Yeah, that's mental. That is seriously dark. But chat, let's talk about Callum Mourinho, because Callum Mourinho is not going back to the 21s. I don't know if it has a positive impact. A lot of those players might feel exactly the same way about this ownership. I'm not sure how well any of these players get on with the sporting directors, get on with Egbali. I'm not sure what relationship the players have got with the hierarchy. But I don't think it impacts them in a negative way. But the ownership has to be made clear to them that what they're doing is unacceptable, and that they're not doing what they promised to do, and that all they're interested in is flipping players for profits and moving them on and using a player trading model. They can say they want to win, but their actions don't match up. Their actions do not match up with what they are saying. Talk's cheap, which is why I said the exact same thing about Rosenior. You talk very well, you've communicated well, but talking the talk is only part of the game. You have to walk the walk. You have to walk the walk. And these lot right now are not walking the walk, and only time will tell if Rosenior will be able to walk the walk. But anyway, I know I mentioned this at the top of the show, but let's go into this into a bit more detail. That Callum McFarlane, will become Liam Rosenior's assistant at Chelsea. Understand Rosenior impressed with McFarlane's handling of the squad over the last 2 games and personally asked him to join his staff. I mean, when I initially heard that he was going to join the staff, I sort of thought, oh, he'll just be he'll just be part of the backroom. It won't be like a major role. The fact that he's gone straight into assistant is, I'm happy for him, but it's kind of mad. It is kind of bad. It is kind of mad that he's gone straight in to be the assistant manager. You know, it's kind of mental. I mean, he's seriously fallen upwards because, all right, he got the 1-1 draw at City and obviously we lost, red card or whatever. But to then go from under 21s coach to being Chelsea assistant manager in the space of a week, 8 days. That is mental. I mean, look, I'm sure he impressed, and I don't know what work he's done in the academy. I'm just not sure. Well, hopefully it'll be good for us. Hopefully it'll be good for us. And you know what? That's what's called making the most of your opportunities. Because chat, the same applies in all walks of life. Any opportunities you get, make the most of them, because you don't know where they're going to lead to. You do not know where they're going to lead to. You know? Well, he can label himself as a manager, but that doesn't change anything. He can label himself as a manager. He can do whatever he wants to do. He knows full well he's a head coach. He knows full well he's a head coach. But yeah, look, McFarlane, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see if he can. Let's see if he can produce anything. Let's see. Mm. No, look how mad this stat is, by the way, chat. Just on a quick scroll here. Look at this. So since the Premier League started in 1992, Chelsea have lost to Fulham just 4 times. 3 of those have been under Blueco. Potter at the Cottage, Maresca at Stamford Boxing Day 2025, and last night. So 4 losses against Fulham since 1992. 3 of those under the Blueco umbrella. Breaking all the wrong records, breaking all the records for all the wrong reasons. No, I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. I could be wrong on that, but I don't see that happening. We should be looking to do something in January because serious teams would be doing something. Serious teams would be doing something. You can't. This is what I'm saying, right? You can't brief that Champions League qualification is critical. Sit and watch that last night in front of your very eyes and then think, nah, we don't need to do anything this month. This month can be a quiet month for us. Are we some sort of joke? Is this some sort of joke? Are we some sort of joke outfit? Oh, maybe we are. Maybe we are some sort of joke outfit. Maybe that's exactly what we are. Maybe that is exactly what we are, a joke outfit. A joke outfit, chat. A joke outfit. That is correct, bro. 8 wins from 21 in the league. Big up to you, brother, for what currency is this? TRY. What's TRY? Where's that from? Let me know what country you're from, bro. Blueco out, they ruined our name. 1 billion spent, we're still the same. Is that meant to rhyme? Is this going to be a poem? Or is this just actually... Oh, it's Turkish lira. Big up to you, brother. Is this going to be... Is this just by coincidence this rhymes? Or is it meant to be like a rhyming poem or something? Oh, it's a chant. Blueco out, they ruined our name. 1 billion spent, we're still the same. From top of the league to a laughing stock, I want them out, our football club. Big up to you, brother. Big up to you. Bro, Mudryk's not... Guys, just to clarify, Mudryk is not coming back in January. Just to make that abundantly clear, chat, Mudryk's not returning this month. Any reports saying that Mudryk is coming back this month are wide of the mark. Majorly wide of the mark. That's not happening. Yeah, let's get into this. Let's get into that because I forgot. Let's get to that. Because there are a few other bits we need to go through, chat. By the way, people, keep smashing the like button. It's free. Takes seconds to do. Run it up, and keep subscribing as well if you're new around here. Keep subscribing as well if you are new around here. It would be greatly appreciated, guys. We're edging ever closer to that 20k. We need that 20k, chat. Let me just find this thing that I was going to go through. is it? Who aggregated that? Which account aggregated the stuff? Yeah, bro, which Twitter account aggregated that? Because I've completely forgotten. Let me know, brother. Because I can't find which account aggregated it. No, I know. No, I know, but he's not. Is that on the page, is it? Well, let's give this a read then. Let's give this a read. Right. Chelsea have the 5th youngest squad in Europe's major leagues. Strasbourg the youngest, and that is all part of the plan for Blueco's recruitment strategy. Top clubs today battle for players at ever younger age groups, and Chelsea have been at the forefront of this. Some Chelsea signings are kids plucked from far afield before their value soars, such as Satpayev, who joins in August, or Ecuador's Dina Ordonez, who joins in January 2028. While cynics argue the model is little more than a player trading scheme driven by profit, the hierarchy would point out that an era of greater financial regulation requires long-term thinking. Sure, it may require longer-term thinking, but it doesn't then mean that you've got to sign, you can't sign anybody proven. Longer contracts mean Chelsea's wage bill is lower when portioned on balance sheets per year, plus younger signings, the right ones at least, hold their market value for longer. There's method to their madness, i.e. financial benefit. Many Chelsea players and staff used to work at Brighton or Man City. It's no surprise aspects of both clubs' models are now found at Stamford Bridge. But do Chelsea share their solid foundations? Pep Guardiola is the world's best manager and has outlasted 7 permanent Chelsea head coaches in his time at City, whilst Brighton's buy low, sell high model is not so repeatable at a club of Chelsea's size. Everyone knows you have money, so they demand it. And who are you going to upsell to? Many of Chelsea's recent signings have been duds. Many have not. Esteval's a star of tomorrow and already the world's most valuable teenager, not named Lamine Yamal. Cole Palmer costs $42.5 million, a modern day bargain. January is going to be quiet. Player turnover under this ruthless perform or leave model is high, and summer signings and sales are expected. There was more than a bit of that about the way they dropped into the Conference League and won it, and then won the Club World Cup. Blueco have taken those gongs as signs they're on the right track back to summit. Fans remain less sure. Todd Bowley was the face of the early Blueco. Yeah, we know that. There are no fewer than 5 sporting directors. Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley, contracted until 2031, make the big decisions and are going nowhere. That sentence there, chat, that sentence there, make the big decisions and are going nowhere. That is a sickening sentence to read, chat. A sickening sentence to read. That they're going nowhere. By the way, chat, 143 likes. Let's get this up to 200 likes, people. Keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do. Run it up, run it up. No, Willie Ice is still there. Willie Ice is still there. Ex-Liverpool recruiter Dave Fallows has now joined with a wide-ranging football development remit. And he works closely with sporting director for scouting and talent, Joe Shields, and sporting director for global recruiting, Sam Jewell. Results of a supporters survey of 4,000 fans this week showed just 1% feel Chelsea's sporting department is well structured and effective. The sporting directors led on player signings. Rosenior, as at Strasbourg, will be one of many transfer consultants, not a recruitment lead. Huge power is given to the medical team. Bro, why have the medical team got so much power? They should be making recommendations. These men shouldn't be holding power. Medical teams holding serious power is kind of mad. I can't lie, chat. Medical teams holding serious power. They should be making recommendations and whatnot, but I don't think they should be having final say on things. You know, imagine the medical team saying, by the way, this, like, you've got a must-win game, pressure's on, or it's a cup final or something. Oh, by the way, Reece can only play 50 minutes and Cole Palmer can only play a half and so-and-so can only play this. So you like, get out of here. I've got a final to win. Spare me that. Less of that. Maresca felt he could no longer freely pick his team, which I think is true. But Standard Sport understands Chelsea believe Rosenior will be better at rotating players and accepting medical staff's word as final. Maresca was rotating players all the time. So basically, they feel that Rosenior is basically going to be a pushover in that regard, whereas Maresca wanted to stand his ground and stood up to these guys. That's how I would interpret that they feel that Rosenior is going to be more receptive, i.e. a bit more of a pushover. He's going to be a pushover to a certain extent. Whereas Maresca was prepared to challenge them and prepared to stand up for what he believes in. And I would love to change my opinion on Rosenior. I would love to. But the way that that's worded, the way that the reporting comes across, all of that stuff makes me think that, yeah, this guy, they kind of using him as a bit of a pushover. They think he's going to be more accepting. By the way, big up to Cigar City Blues for becoming a channel member. Big up to you, brother. Guys, if you want to join the channel, support myself for, I think, $1.99 per month, hit the link in the description and you too can become a member. Big up to you, Cigar City Blues. Appreciate the support. Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is that the medical team, it's clear with the reporting and the fact that Maresca fell out with these guys, it's clear that the medical team, to some extent, have got a bigger say than the manager in the picking of the team. Which, I don't know, that to me seems kind of mad. That to me does seem mad, chap. That does seem mad. Maybe that's what happens. I don't know. Maresca became emboldened, felt he deserved more power after delivering trophies, but that's not how things work at Stamford Bridge, where Boardroom trumps dugout every time. And that is the problem. Because when you're successful and when you deliver trophies, you're going to want more. You're going to deserve you're going to deserve that you should have more of a say because you've delivered success to the football club. But this ownership has shown many times the head coach doesn't matter to them. They'll just bring another head coach in and they'll just keep bringing head coaches in because they run the show and the head coaches to them are not important. The head coaches to them are not important, chap. It looks like ownership and medical team are more important than the head coach, which is mad. I agree, bro. They can make recommendations, but they should be getting a player back to fitness, and then we go and then we go from there. I do agree with you on that. I do agree with you on that. Head coaches, Rosenior has been warned after 5 permanent managers in as many years. Fans for the era of enticing the caliber of Mourinho's, Ancelotti's, and whatnot is over. The revolving door risks never letting a manager into the building for long enough to afford Chelsea entry back to the very top table. I think so. Rosenior is a head coach, not a manager. Some have called it an unambitious appointment. Others believe it was the seamless, obvious choice and the very epitome of how the ascendant multi-club ownership model can work. Having considered Xavi, whether that's true or not, we don't know, and interviewed their own defender, Felipe Luis. Again, we don't know how true that is. Chelsea settled on an English head coach with no Champions League experience. Rosenior, though, is a highly impressive individual. And then it goes into, obviously, the background of how he knows what he met Winstanley 15 years ago at Brighton, met Sam Jewell there, knows Lawrence Stewart from when he was at Hull City. He may not know the club, but he knows the people. Chelsea insiders believe his style of play suits the recruitment strategy. I don't see how a style of play does suit the recruitment strategy. I don't really get that. Will Robinson. What are we talking about here? Yeah, I do agree with this. I do agree with that. I for one am not. I for one am not buying this idea that we interviewed Felipe Luis. I don't think we did. I don't think we did. That's probably why I don't get it. What's Will Robinson? Let me just finish this off. Rosenior has not won anything in management and must win over stars such as Palmer or Fernandez, but he arrives having left Strasbourg top of the Conference League and 7th in Liga. Rosenior is seen by Chelsea Chiefs as quote-unquote media savvy, a diplomat unlikely to air dirty laundry in public. Let's wait and see what happens. McFarlane, the under-21 head coach, there we go. Rosenior has charisma, a tactful communicator who believes coaching's 90% skills, 10% football. The Blue Coat clubs play intentionally similar football, so Chelsea fans can expect a familiar possession-dominant style with a 3-2-5 build-up. Yeah, we've seen that before. Chelsea are bottom of the Premier League fair play table, so he needs to sort that out. And while the squad were very fond of Maresca, the Italian never got the best out of Palmer. Rosenior must. He keeps the same bosses who like him, but is now granted the chance to coach Palmer, Caicedo, James, Esteval. An almighty promotion for Rosenior is just the natural next chapter of Blue Coat's project. Wrapped up in all this are the keys to a job that should be an immense privilege. Chelsea believe he's up to it. Right. Well, Chelsea have to believe he's up to it. They're not going to brief that he's not, that they don't think he's up to it. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, and hopefully they won't be here for much longer. Yeah, look, I think Rosenior. Look, I think we'll beat Charlton this weekend. I know it's hard to have any confidence about anything right now, but I do think we'll win this weekend. I do think that is a possibility befitting of us. I definitely think that's a possibility. I mean, John Terry would have been perfect for the role as assistant, but clearly he maybe wasn't consulted. I don't know. No one loves the club more. He would have instilled a good mentality and whatnot. And it's something he's done before, but maybe he wasn't asked. Who knows? And maybe he didn't want to. I don't really know right now. Look, Caicedo wasn't great against Fulham. Facts. He wasn't that good against Fulham. I agree with you on that one. The thing is, though, Maresca wasn't sacked. Though he walked. He'd done enough. He'd fallen out with him, and he didn't want to be part of that situation anymore. But yeah, I just don't really know where we're at right now, chat. I don't really know where we're at. People, we're 35 likes away from 200. We're still 180 in the building. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. All of that good stuff. Let's get it. Let's keep it stepping. Let's keep it stepping. Speaking of Rosenior, chat. First training session is taking place at Cobham. Overseeing his first training session. I'll bring it up on screen, chat. We can go through some of the photos. Bear with me. Cucurella was poor yesterday. Really bad discipline. So here we are. Liam Rosenior oversees first training session. A straight down to work for Liam Rosenior at Cobham today as he oversaw his first training session as head coach. Working with the players who didn't play significant minutes at Craven Cottage. Those who did undertook a recovery session inside. Rosenior began to instill his tactical principles and set the tone for what is expected from the group on the training pitches. All right, so there he is. Out on the pitch, looks like Cucurella out there. Didn't play, got sent off. Guiu, that's Dario Vasugu in training. Is that the lesser known Facundo Buonanotte there? Who does still exist, who is real. Guiu, Joao Pedro there. That's Shim Waheka, Andre Santos. Well, there we are, chat. Rosenior has taken training for the first time today. He's taken training for the first time. Yeah, already said that. Already said that. I want to be apologising. I want to be apologising. I've made that very clear. I want to be apologising. I want to be on here holding my hands up saying, do you know what? I got it wrong about Liam. Fair play. You proved me wrong. That is exactly what I want to be doing. I hope that I'll be doing that. I just don't have the confidence right now that I will be doing that. But I hope I am. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, look, I think he's good tactically. I think he's very good. He's very good man manager. He's very good with people, with young players. The tactical setup might suit some of these players better. But I don't think there's nothing like outstanding that stands out about him that Maresca didn't have, if that makes sense. Yeah, look, the number one thing that he needs to do, obviously, outside of getting Cole Palmer back to his best, is sorting out the discipline. But his Strasbourg team had 7 red cards, 7 red cards in 18 months of being there. 7 red cards in 18 months. The same amount of red cards that we had. The same amount of red cards that we've had this season. So, yeah, it's a problem. I don't think it was. I don't think it's as simple as, oh, Palmer's dropped off was Maresca's fault. Palmer's been injured for 3 months. Palmer didn't play very well against Man City. Maresca was gone. Didn't play very well against Fulham. Maresca's gone. I think it's too simplistic. I think it's too simplistic to literally say that, oh, by the way, Maresca's gone, so Palmer's going to be great now. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Like, if people think that, that's fine, but I just think that's too surface level, too simplistic. I mean, we need a lift. We need a lift big time. We also need Palmer to regain his form. Delap has probably had his 2 best performances in a Chelsea shirt in the last 2 games, but we still need a lot more from him. Bro, but there's like loads of players didn't put anything. I think people read too much into this. Oh my God, so and so player didn't put something up on their story or didn't do a post about the manager leaving or whatever. I think people read way too much into that. People wanted Palmer to play on the right-hand side. He played on the right-hand side against City in the second half, didn't do much. Played on the right-hand side last night, didn't do very much. You know, I don't think Palmer's bad form is not because of Maresca. Because Palmer actually had a decent end to the season last year. So I don't subscribe to this situation where, oh, by the way, Maresca's gone, so Palmer's going to be fine now. Palmer's going to start playing well. Also fair as well. I think it's fair to say that Palmer shouldn't be an automatic selection in this team. He should have to earn his place in the side like everyone else. I think that's perfectly fair. He should have to earn his place in the side like everyone else. Very simple. That's a good question, because we won't pay the money, clearly. Because we won't pay the money. Bro, that's very, very optimistic. I'm not sure what that's being based on, but that is yeah, that is very, very optimistic. I'm not it was on the standard. It was on the standard. Bro, let me just link it in the chat. Let me link it in the chat. That should, hey, Couch, if that doesn't work, let me know, bro, and I'll just WhatsApp it to you. But yeah, that's the link in the chat there. If you can just copy and paste that, or if it hyperlinks it, you can just obviously go on it. But that's it. That's it there. Do I believe in him? No, not really. I've been very honest about that. I don't believe that he's the right guy. I don't believe he's up to it. But I'll be backing him and I'll be supporting him. But no, I'm being fair. Bro, he's the chief Chelsea reporter for the Standard. That's what he is. Yeah. But yeah, that's the article that I was reading earlier. Yeah, so yeah, he's the chief football reporter, Chelsea reporter, whatever, for the Standard. But yeah, that's the article. So yeah, I've stuck it in the chat. I can't remember what I was saying now. What was I saying? Yeah, I somehow don't think that's going to be the same. I somehow don't think that's going to be the same this time round. I don't know what's happened to the front of shirt sponsor. I've got no idea. But that's again just another thing that's like a shambles at the club right now. Another thing. Another thing. Another thing. Another thing. And it's not good, chat. It's not good. You are, bro. The quality might not be that good, but have you noticed how crap we've been? The fact that we're 2 points outside Champions League and we've won 8 games out of 21 shows you the quality of the league. But we're not in a position because we've been good. Bro, we're not, bro. If we finish top 4, fair enough. But that is looking very, very difficult right now. We're not finishing above Aston Villa. And it's right now, in my opinion, unless a madness happens over the second half of the season, we are going to be... We're playing for 5th place. We're playing for 5th place. You know, 5th place. And that's what we're playing for. And that's what we're playing for right now. We have to get Champions League. We have to get Champions League football, chat. There's no excuses. Well, I mean, who knows? No, no, I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I don't believe so. And look, we've already signed Omega, so even if Jackson wanted to come back in the summer, there's not really any space for him because the club have moved on and signed Omega. So Jackson, the Jackson Bridge is burnt, chat. It's burnt. That's what's happened there. The Jackson Bridge is well and truly finito. That's burnt down. That is burnt down. I think we'll probably win, but I think it will be difficult. I think it will be scrappy. I think it will be much harder and much closer than we expect. I think it'll be much harder and closer than we expect. I don't know how true that is, but we'll see. We'll see. We need to get rid of Sterling. This guy needs to go. This guy needs to go. Chat, we're 20 likes away. We're 20 likes away from 100. Run it up, run it out. Bro, the new manager bounce would have to last the entire second half of the season if we're going to finish top 4. It would have to last the entire second half of the season. No, I personally wouldn't. I think we desperately need to win. I think Rosenior needs to go fairly strong for this game. I think he does need to go fairly strong for the Charlton game. Obviously, we'll discuss it tomorrow. But I think he needs to go fairly strong. I think he's got to. I don't think we can be taking any chances here, any liberties with the current situation. I don't think we can be doing that. No, we're not getting top 4. I'll be stunned. I think it's going to take a miracle to get Champions League football. I think it will take a miracle. Right now, I think we'll be 6th or 7th right now. That's what I'm looking at. I think we're going to finish 6th or 7th. We got big problems. I think we'll be 6th or 7th based on what we're currently seeing. I'm not seeing any evidence that we're going to suddenly have a major swing in form over this second half of the season. I'm not seeing that. I'm just not seeing it at all. Yeah, I mean, but bro, this is 2026. This is not 2012 anymore. This is not 2021 anymore. This is 2026 now. We're not capable of doing that sort of stuff. We're just not. We're just not capable of doing that sort of stuff, chap. You know, we're not capable, in my opinion. I'd rather know European football than to finish in the Conference League again. Yeah, look, I hear you. I hear you. Bro, I don't know if you're like trolling or being delusional here. You think we're going to overturn 12 points on Aston Villa? That's a 4-game swing. We need a 4-game swing. Or 3 games. No, yeah, 4-game swing we need. That's never happening. It's just not happening. We're not going to get a 4-game swing on Villa between now and the end of the season. We'll see. I'd love for you to be right. I would love for you to be right. But I can't say I have any confidence that I think you will be. I cannot say that with any confidence at all that you're going to be right, bro. But I hope you are. I really hope you are. No, Cole's not out, no. Cole is not out. Let's have a look if there's anything else major going on, chat. Doesn't look like it. Right. Chat. Quite possibly. Quite possibly. You cannot build a team like this without having a highly experienced manager to run it. Yeah, I hear it, bro. You can't have it both ways. You can't have an experience on the pitch and off the pitch. You know, that's the reality. Potentially we are. Yeah, I know. Like, there's no point even thinking that it's that there's a January window going on, because we're not going to do anything. So it might as well be February for us. Thank you, Andy. Big yourself up, brother. I appreciate the support. I know there's not going to be any players coming in. No, there definitely won't be. But guys, we're going to round this one out now. Big up to everybody that's locked in. Appreciate the support on the show as always. We'll be back tomorrow. Liam Rosenior, first press conference at 1:30 p.m. So maybe we'll be live to go through that and look ahead to the FA Cup tie against Charlton on Saturday night. But yeah, guys, thanks for the support as always. Big yourself up, people. Apologies, the shows aren't taking place in better circumstances, but such is life at Chelsea right now. We just got to keep plugging away, keep hoping for the best. But big love for the support, guys. Appreciate each and every single one of you in the chat. Smash the like button on the way out. We're 10 likes away from 200. So smash those likes. Subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll catch you lot tomorrow. Up the Chelsea. Blue Co out. Love.